changed my shirt. So I hope that you guys are having a wonderful week, and I hope that you're enjoying The Little Prince. If you're not, well, you make me sad. And it's not that long, so I'm gonna keep reading it anyways. What's been going on? I had my first chemistry test this morning, and my first physics and calculus test tomorrow, right in a row, so that'll be fun. As you can probably hear, I'm kind of sick, but it happens. So how's everything at home? I hope you are all well. Love you guys. Happy Wednesday. Today, I'm going to talk about the first 7 chapters of The Little Prince. The first thing that I really love about The Little Prince is the style, like the way that he's so honest. So, I'm talking like in the very, very first chapter. That is why, at the age of 6, I gave up what might have been a magnificent career as a painter. I had been disheartened by the failure of my drawing number 1 and my drawing number 2. Grown-ups never understand anything by themselves, and it is tiresome for children to be always and forever explaining things to them. So then I chose another profession and learned to pilot airplanes. I have flown a little over all parts of the world, and it is true that geography has been very useful to me. At a glance I can distinguish China from Arizona. If one gets lost in the night, such knowledge is valuable. So, I love his tone, even if what he's saying may sound ridiculous to grown-ups. It's interesting because he doesn't use a lot of like sensory details, but I can still fall in love with the characters. So some of my favorite quotes from the first 7 chapters. The proof that the Little Prince existed is that he was charming, that he laughed, and that he was looking for a sheep. If anybody wants a sheep, that is proof that he exists. And in that part, he also talks about how, like, when a child makes a friend, their parents don't ask, like, what their voice sounds like, or if they I don't know, I'll find it. When you tell them, grown-ups, that you have made a new friend, they never ask you any questions about essential matters. They never say to you, what does his voice sound like? What games does he love best? Does he collect butterflies? Instead, they demand, how old is he? How many brothers has he? How much does he weigh? How much money does his father make? Only from these figures do they think they have learned anything about him. And I love that, because, like, now, every time that I think about describing people, I try to, like, pick out details like that. Because I just think that's such an innocent way of looking at things, and it's just beautiful. Other quotes. Oh, there's definitely a motif of sunsets, because on the Little Prince's planet, he can see, well, his planet is so small that the sun is always setting, like, within a few steps. And he says that one day he saw 44 sunsets. The Little Prince did. And then later on he says, when one loves, let me try that again. He says, one loves the sunset when one is so sad. And then the narrator asks, were you so sad then, on the day of the 44 sunsets? But the Little Prince made no reply. I don't know, that's just so deep for such a little book, So yeah, and I think that, like, everyone has 44 sunset days, or rather, days of 44 sunsets, yeah. Where, like, you just want to see something beautiful all day, because you can't find it, like, in yourself, that type of thing. Which is really depressing. Sorry. A not depressing quote. If someone loves a flower, of which just one single blossom grows in all the millions and millions of stars, it is enough to make him happy just to look at the stars. He can say to himself, "Somewhere my flower is there." That is one of the most meaningful quotes that I got from this book, because it's saying that, like, when you love someone, it doesn't matter if you can't see them right now, and it should be enough to just know that they exist. So, a quick summary of The Little Prince, first 7 chapters, even though you should have read them yourself. So the narrator lands in the desert because he's a pilot, and, like, his plane breaks, and he's, like, thousands of miles away from civilization or something like that. And then he's starting to fix his plane when he sees the Little Prince, who just saunters over, like, it's no big deal to be there. And then, so they meet, and the Little Prince has him draw a sheep, to eat the baobab plants. I don't know if I say that right, but those are the bad plants that are taking over his planet. But he also needs to, like, protect his rose, and so they talk about that, and he has him draw other things. And then at one point, the narrator gets upset with the Little Prince because he's trying to fix his plane, and he's kind of freaking out because he's gonna run out of water and food. Yeah. And the Little Prince wants him to care about the important things about his flower on his planet. And it ends, one of the chapters, it might be 7 actually, ends with the Little Prince just crying because he got so upset over the narrator not caring about the important things. And the narrator just kind of melts and doesn't know what to do and just holds him. And, so yeah. It's probably the saddest part of the book. Except for maybe the end. Oh, spoiler alert. Not really. So yeah. That's pretty much what happens, I think. So if you guys want to read your own favorite quotes, or just talk about what you think so far in your videos, that'd be cool. I'm going to read some of my favorite quotes and what they mean to me. So yeah.